African American leaders were not as united as people needed during the Progressive Era. Notable African American leaders Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois had stark differences about fighting segregation. Booker T. Washington was a prominent leader in the African American community, and many people followed him. He was born into slavery and faced racism directly in Alabama. Instead of trying to break segregation laws, Washington wanted African Americans to focus on their own neighborhoods and have African Americans learn vocational skills. A vocational skill is when you learn a skill for trade or for employment, like welding, auto shop, or cosmetology. Those are examples of vocational skills. Although he eventually wanted African Americans to have the same equal rights as Anglo Americans, he believed that gradual gaining of rights was more practical. However, critics believed he was accepting white supremacy rule and was too eager to accommodate the people that wanted segregation. W.E.B. Du Bois was born into a relatively integrated community in Massachusetts and earned a PhD from Harvard University, the first African American to do so. He fully believed that African Americans should always have access to an academic education and demanded equal rights at all times. Du Bois believed if African Americans accepted segregation and crumbs from the people that divided them, they will always be submissive. Du Bois said, "The one counsels patient submission. The other class believed that it should not be submitted to being humiliated, degraded, and remain to an inferior place." Support grew towards Du Bois as the climate of racism was strengthening instead of softening towards African Americans during the Progressive Era. Even Du Bois himself underestimated the racial divide and the gap to unify the country. Du Bois encouraged African Americans to join the World War I effort in the hopes their valiant efforts to defend their country would move Anglo Americans to accept them as equals. However, African American servicemen were treated harshly by Anglo soldiers, and they faced even more discrimination when they returned home from service. Before Washington died in 1915, the movie Birth of a Nation was released, and the environment of racism grew to a fever pitch.